We will now call the business session of the October 18th, 2022 meeting to order at 6:07 p.m. All council members are present. Welcome to our guests and visitors. We provide an opportunity for the public to speak and to address council on any agenda item during the hearing of visitors or on an agenda item. On items other than public hearings, speakers will be allotted one 3-minute presentation, regardless of the number of agenda items the speaker wishes to address. If you're here to speak and have not filled out a registration card, please see the city secretary staff at the registration table outside of the auditorium so that staff can contact you if necessary. If you have handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation and staff will distribute these to council. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business is to consider the minutes of the October 4th, 2022 regular city council meeting. These minutes were provided to you in your meeting packet. Are there any corrections? Nope. There being no corrections, the minutes stand approved as submitted. We have a proclamation tonight, and I would ask Whitney Thomas to join me at the podium. It's my honor to read this proclamation, and it's on a serious topic that my heart and my hope is that we'll bear in mind this day. I, Dylan Meek, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, do hereby proclaim October 20th, 2022 as a day of remembrance for domestic violence victims in the city of Waco, and urge the people of Waco to join with the city council, city staff, and me in remembering those who have been victims of domestic violence. Domestic violence destroys an individual's privacy, dignity, and security due to the systematic cycle of control and abuse. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and a way to bring advocates from across the community together to end cycles of domestic violence. The Family Abuse Center remembers its victims of domestic violence in the city of Waco and the surrounding areas in a special ceremony by reading each of their names and through the sharing of their stories. This day provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to learn more about domestic violence issues and show support for organizations and individuals who provide advocacy services to domestic violence victims. Together, we can strive towards raising awareness to eliminate domestic violence in our community. In testimony whereof, witness my hand in the seal of the city of Waco this 18th day of October 2022.
A lot to us that we have y'all's support. So we have to do a ceremony on October 20th. It'll be down by the Texas Ranger Museum. We do a wreath that honors every victim's name who lost their lives in the previous year due to domestic violence. And in 2021, there's 204 names that we're putting on a wreath with 22 bystanders. So, and that's in the state of Texas. And there's 2 directly from our community in McLennan County. So again, thank you for this. Thank you, Dylan. Thanks. You too.
All right, we will now transition to the public hearing portion of the meeting. I believe Clint Peters is going to help us through that.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a special permit to Patty Herbert for a licensed group home in R1A zoning district on property described as Lot 3, Block A, the Rosewood Edition, known as 2301 Rosewood Drive. By a vote of 11-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the request based on the following findings. 1, that the proposed use is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the purposes and intent of Chapter 28 zoning of Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco. 2, that the proposed use is compatible with the appropriate and orderly development of the area which is located. 3, the property would not be more objectionable to neighboring properties because of traffic congestion, noise, fumes, vibrations, or any other characteristics than any use permitted in the zoning district without the grant of the special exception. And 4, that available community facilities and services, including the road system, providing access to the proposed use are adequate for the proposed use.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open a public hearing on, for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, we will close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Aye. Palmer. Aye. Borderoad.
Yes.
Holmes. Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. We'll move to public hearing 798.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a special permit to LaSalle Storage LLC for auto storage in M2 zoning district on property described as Lot 1, Block 13 of the LB Daughtry Edition, known as 1301 LaSalle Avenue. By a vote of 10-1, Plan Commission recommended approval of the request based on the following findings. 1, the proposed use is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the purposes and intent of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco. 2, the proposed use is more compatible with compatible with the appropriate and orderly development of the area in which it is located. 3, the proposed use will not be more objectionable to neighboring properties because of traffic congestion, noise, fumes, vibrations, or any other characteristics than any use permitted in the zoning district without the grant of a special exception. And 4, that available community facilities and services, included the road system providing access to proposed use, are adequate for the proposed use. I would want to point out on this one, the property is 9.1 acres. A portion of it, the rear portion of it, is already developed for self-storage, which is a permitted use in M2. That's on 3.81 acres of that property. And then the front part of the property is Zone C5, which is about 3.6. And auto storage is already a permitted use in that portion of the property. So the special permit that we're talking about and considering tonight is the 1.7 acres that's zone M2 that's undeveloped, which is in the middle of the property. I did provide y'all with an updated site plan that includes the screening and the landscaping that are required by the LaSalle overlay ordinance in our landscaping ordinance, and then also includes additional screening along the adjacent property line that was an added recommendation of the Plan Commission based on some concern from the neighboring property. And that's included on your place.
I'm glad that the Plan Commission took care of us there on LaSalle. I know there's been a lot of work from the committee of the overlay district. They've worked real hard. The LaSalle Overlay District Committee has worked real hard to try and bring it back up and get some good businesses and better businesses and beautify that area. So along with this, business has been there for quite some time. I know I have used that storage building and am using it, but I have seen junk vehicles there out where people passing by LaSalle can see that. And that doesn't speak well for the LaSalle Avenue corridor, not with all the, new that and all that they're trying to do there. So, with the fencing and everything else, all the other conditions that we put in there, not we, but the Plan Commission put in there, and you're bringing to us for approval, will this help the look of cars going down LaSalle to keep them from seeing junk vehicles, junk boats, junk 18-wheelers, and all kinds of stuff there that's been there? And I know they've been there because I use that facility, I use that building.
Sure. So, yeah, this is a new owner, and they're wanting to make improvements to the site. So, adding the screening fence and then landscaping on the outside will make it look a lot better as you go down LaSalle. Also, in the conditions, we put a condition in there that the permit shall not allow the storage of junk or wrecked vehicles. So that will help approve it too.
And I appreciated that. I read this whole thing, and I said, well, I appreciate that, but I just wanted to bring it out that there's some people that are working real hard to keep up LaSalle, and I want to help them keep it up as well. And we need to make them aware that there are people that are trying to bring up the LaSalle corridor to make it as beautiful as they can with the businesses that are there. So just to let them know that we're watching.
Right, yeah, and I think that is the intent of the new owners, is to improve the look of that existing use.
Can I get clarity? On all, views of LaSalle, will there be a 6-foot tall fence with landscaping outside of that?
Yes, so and that's a good point. It actually, the fencing will go up 13th Street
Yep.
as well, to the point where you get to the storage buildings.
Okay.
There's a house on the corner that operates as their office, and so that will be outside the fence, but the fence will, all the storage will be inside the fence and screened from both LaSalle and 13th Street.
Well, the house is, I think, that's where everybody goes to pay.
That's correct.
So they have to keep that open anyway, pretty much, to let the occupants of the storage buildings come in and pay. So, but the house itself is nice, and the outbuildings, they have their carports that they have behind the building, they're nice. So that's nice, that's not a problem, but what's a problem is what they were allowing on the area, in the area where the storage buildings don't start.
Correct.
Storage buildings are back here, and all this empty up here is where they were putting all that stuff that,
What's the vegetation that has to be planted outside of the fence? Can you describe that a little bit?
Sure, it will be a combination of trees and shrubs. There'll be a tree for every 50 feet, and then there'll be shrubs in between those areas.
Will that be irrigated?
It's required to be kept alive, so it's irrigated, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
is that gonna be on the side as well? Not on the 13th side, but I guess in the middle of 14th?
Southwest side.
14th?
I had that same question.
The yellow line, will that also be, will there be obstruction from the views, from the residents' views?
The 6-foot privacy fence. Does that go down that side also?
So down 13th Street to where the storage buildings start, and then on the other property, there's development between it and the next street. And so, but there will be a fence added to where, adjacent to the Route 77 food truck park, there'll be privacy fence added there. And then beyond there, it's all buildings, so you can't see through there.
I was talking about the one on, you see Daughtry, and then that line coming up. I guess that's between 13th and 14th to the south. That's what I was talking about. Is there gonna be a fence there?
Can you put your cursor on where the fence is gonna be? Maybe that would,
Yeah.
tell us where the fence is gonna roll.
So on the Daughtry side, it will stay the way it is. There's a chain link fence, and then you have the storage buildings, and there's some trees along there. And then, but all the other frontages, street frontages that are there along LaSalle and 13th, and then adjacent to the property, the Route 77 food truck park will have fencing all around it. So you will not be able to see it from any of the streets around the property. Either screened by the fence or other buildings.
And the dotted line that surrounds the solid line is the notice zone, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, and on the zoning map.
Okay.
I had another question on this. We could limit how long is the special permit for now?
Well, so the recommendation is that it would become null and void at the point, a time where it's permitted by right in that front part. If they stop using it for that, then the special permit would become null and void.
Okay. Could we put a time limit on the special permit part?
Just for the part that's required, but yes, you can.
Any other questions for staff?
Nope.
All right, I'll open a public hearing for comment. Is there anyone here to speak on public hearing 2022-798?
Good evening. My name is David Mercer. My address is 1425 LaSalle Avenue. I am the owner of the neighboring property. I'd be remiss if I didn't correct Mr. Peters. It's Route 77 Food Park and Bar. So if anybody's looking for something after tonight's meeting, there is a separate
Probably all of
function
us.
there. I did show up and address P&Z and a request that if this permit was approved, that there be a 6-foot fence put up between myself and the property, just to kind of protect my view of what potentially could be stored in there, because Councilwoman Rodriguez is right, that property has stored a lot of junk, vehicles and boats and stuff for quite some period of time. But I would like to just say, if you guys do move forward with the permit, I think that it conflicts with the intent of the LaSalle overlay, and I think it conflicts with the economic development strategy that the city helped fund and put in place for the LaSalle corridor district, because that middle section of LaSalle, it doesn't have a commercial, definitely not an auto storage use or intent long-term, and doesn't help, I think, boost or promote the redevelopment of LaSalle overall as a whole. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, David. Anyone else here to speak on this item? Hearing no one else, I will close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Can we, in our motion, stipulate that we want a fence on the, I still haven't really gotten, on the 14th, from Daughtry to LaSalle on the 14th Street side. If we could put a fence there between the storage building and whatever is on this side. What is?
So the streets that are adjacent to this property are LaSalle on the front, 13th on the side, and on the back is Daughtry.
But I'm talking, I guess I'm not making myself clear.
So
I
yeah,
don't know.
14th Street is not adjacent to this. It
I
runs-
know, but I'm talking about the yellow line next to the storage building that you have in our,
So running the fence all the way back from LaSalle to Daughtry along the property line?
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
yep.
there it is. Thank you, Clint.
Yes, ma'am.
That's how easy that was.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Councilmember?
can I add that on to the motion to require fence to, there on 14th Street side to keep?
It would basically be extending what the Plan Commission recommended all the way back to Daughtry. Because they just recommended it for the first 140 feet,
okay.
and you would just be adding on to that.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
Yep.
Jennifer, help me out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is my motion, that we extend what the Plan Commission wanted for that area all the way back to Daughtry.
I'll second that.
Is there, okay, can we have a discussion on it?
Well, yeah, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
They're only asking for the permit on the front part, right? So we can,
Well, they're-
is it congruent to make them put it somewhere where they're not even asking for the permit?
They're actually, the permit is actually for the middle part. The front part is zoned correctly for storage,
Oh, okay.
and then the back part is being used for self-storage buildings. So there's about 1.7 acres in the middle of that tract that the special permit will cover.
Clarify when we're saying front, back, and middle, like
Yeah.
is front LaSalle to
LaSalle.
you?
Front
Front
is
Okay.
LaSalle to me.
That's me too, okay. And then
Daughtry is
Daughtry
the
is back.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Where's metal?
So it would just be extending what the Plan Commission wanted all the way back to Daughtry.
And the special permit right now has no time limit?
Right now, the recommendation is that it is good as long as the front part, the LaSalle frontage that's zone C5, if that goes away, then the special permit will go away.
I think there needs to be, personally, I think it'd be better if there was a 2-year time limit on the special permit, because I think you can
I'm
revisit
asking
it.
because if we're, taking into account the proposed redevelopment of the LaSalle overlay and the economic development that is moving forward in that community, we want to encourage those businesses and perhaps, not offer up more long-term situations if it's something that we want to see more life or more business come into that area. I mean, if it's 2 years and it's working, fine, then we'll come back to it again. But I just think that there needs to be a period on it so we don't go past what we're trying to do.
And that's fine. I just want that fence put up.
Yeah.
I mean, the special permit, whatever y'all decide that that's what y'all want to do, I'll go along with it. But I need to make sure that whatever we do, we still have that view obstructed from the rest of the area.
So, Councilmember Rodriguez, would you be willing to amend your motion to have, not only have the fence surround the perimeter with landscaping as described by Mr. Peters outside of it, but also have a 2-year timeline, 2-year time limit on the special permit?
Sure.
Mayor, City Secretary and I think it might be cleaner for y'all to,
Vote and fail it and start over?
yeah, and start over. We have a motion and a second, and we think it might be cleaner.
That's.
Yeah, it might be
To
cleaner
just vote
to
it
take a
down.
vote, and if you so
Amend the
choose,
motion?
vote it down, and then y'all can have another motion.
So we have to pass that one and then come back and amend it to add the time limit on the special permit? Is that what you're saying?
Kill it.
Or kill it.
And then just
Make another motion.
do what we want to do.
Kill,
Motion that includes all of it, if that's what your choice is.
We can amend motions?
I thought we could amend the motion.
You
She
can
just
amend
said
a
it
motion.
would be cleaner.
but-
You can do
But
what
you
you
really
like.
need to, you'll still have that motion laying out there, so you really need to vote it, either approve it or deny it, which in this case, you need to deny it, and then you need to make a new motion with all the conditions.
so be it.
I'm up for it.
I just want a fence over there, that's all.
Let's pull a council.
We're gonna vote to deny it, to turn it down, right? Is
Yeah.
that what we're saying?
I'm voting no.
We don't know yet.
Motion on the floor. I have to vote against myself?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bearfield.
No.
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 Porter-Ruud?
Nope.
Holmes?
Nope.
Meek?
Let's make the motion, because apparently mine didn't.
That the entire perimeter of this yellow border right here have a 6-foot wooden fence with dense vegetation as previously described that is irrigated, and that the special permit have a 2-year time period.
Just to clarify, just to make sure, y'all are moving to approve the special permit with the additional conditions, the conditions that have already been suggested by staff, plus the additional conditions you just mentioned.
Correct.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez? Palmer? Porter-Ruud? Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to public hearing 2022-799.
Fence. All right.
Members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, amending Article 4, District Regulations in Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, Texas, to establish Division 30 Special District, Floyd Casey District, and adding sections 20-880.27 to 28-880.33, establishing an architectural control committee, providing a map of the new district, adopting the Floyd Casey design book, providing that pursuant to section 28-247 and chapter 28 zoning of said code, that the zoning map shall be changed so that the zoning classification of the property within the Floyd Casey district shall be changed to and be designated by its existing base district classification plus the Floyd Casey district designation. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for penalties, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 11-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the overlay, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on any specific requirements of the overlay for you.
Any questions for staff?
Yeah, Clint, I have a question regarding a statement that we have from Dr. Northcutt. Sorry, my brain is slowly trying to make sense of this. So with our current policies, you can't have rooftop equipment for a project like this, and that would include solar panels, is that correct?
I don't think solar panels would be prohibited by these. They're permitted.
Even though there's a statement about rooftop equipment shall not be visible from public streets, parking lots, or trails?
Yeah, I think the equipment would be more of your HVAC equipment.
Just wanted to confirm that. And do you know if there has been discussion to have the wiring set up for EV vehicles at any of the different components of this project?
Not specifically. That is something we can talk with the developers as they come in with their development plans. This framework is more about the regulations as they develop, but that's something we can talk to, especially on the commercial side.
The mixed use district as opposed to
Yeah.
the residential district?
On the mixed use part of
Yeah, the
it,
mixed
yes.
use.
Any other questions for staff? All right, I'll open a public hearing for comment. I have two cards on this. The first one is from Ed Newman, who lives at 2025 Flint Avenue.
Documents with me. Blessings in the name of our Lord. I'm the pastor of Full Gospel Assembly. They're at 2825 Flint Avenue. I got a letter saying you guys were going to take it by eminent domain. And we're right on the border to the right over here on your map. And I'm not against development. I'm not against advancement. But I am against our church being taken.
Pastor, I can assure you your church is not being taken. There's a misunderstanding, and our staff can happily explain in further detail, but we're not taking any property.
I was going to say I would be willing to sit down and engage with a discussion at any time. I'm a member of the Waco Area Pastors Council. Got to meet you the other day over at Brother Holmes' church. It was a pleasure. And if it's a misunderstanding, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you guys and the work that you're doing here in the city of Waco.
Pastor, thank you so much. I'm glad to give you that, hopefully some relief that we are not taking any property. So have a great day.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Al Northcutt.
Just to clarify, I had timed this for 3 minutes. Does 3 minutes not apply on public hearings?
I believe 3 minutes still applies for public hearings. 3 minutes.
Oh, it does. Okay. Earlier this year, the mayor and 3 council persons expressed their concern about the climate crisis and that the city is dedicated to lowering the city's carbon footprint. Now, this Floyd Casey district with some 285 housing units plus commercial development is a perfect opportunity to act on these council pledges. Now, this Floyd Casey design book does have some positive features, including the prominent green spaces it describes and the idea of lessening on automobile use, but I think the council should definitely add to this. The most powerful step would be to ban gas hookups in this development, making it all electric. Now, this would cut greenhouse gas emissions, improve the health of the residents, and reduce explosion and fire risk. Unfortunately, the state passed a law recently that I think may prevent the city from doing this. Now, I'm not an attorney, so I would suggest that the city attorney look and see if gas could be banned. And if so, this would be a fantastic step toward the goal of acting on our carbon footprint. Now, the handout has guidelines about building electric-only and electric-ready structures. If gas can't be banned, electric-ready construction should be incorporated. Now, the design book does say in 3.3, to the extent practicable, south and west slopes should be introduced to allow for architectural integration of photovoltaic panels. So in reference to Councilperson Palmer, it sounds like they are positive about panels. And that's good as far as it goes, but I would recommend that the city add language to make the homes solar ready, meaning requiring a junction box, dedicated pathway for wiring from the electric panel to the roof. So in the future, solar could be installed. And this is a step being done in many places to make the homes solar ready. Now, in the mixed use section in 4.11, it does state, as Councilperson stated, equipment shall not be visible from public streets, parking lots, or trails, rooftop equipment. To me, I would think that people might use this to try to prevent solar. So I think that's a dangerous clause there, however, it might be interpreted. So I would remove that to eliminate that possibility. And solar-ready wiring should be required on commercial structures as well. Now, these homes are going to be clearly around when EVs predominate in the U.S. Already, California and New York have banned the sale of new internal combustion vehicles by 2035. So I would just add that requiring EV-ready wiring in these new homes would also be a very positive step to help reduce the carbon footprint of Waco.
Thank you, Dr. Northcutt.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak on this item? I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading?
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Palmer?
Yes.
Borderood?
Yes.
Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to public hearing 2022-800.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the comprehensive plan be amended to change the land use designation from urban residential to mixed-use flex on property described as 16.96 acres situated in the T.J. Chambers Survey Abstract 7, Waco, McLennan County, Texas, being a portion of Lot 1, Block 1, Baylor Stadium Addition. In addition, within the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, according to the plat of record in volume 1695, page 133 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, being all of Lot 1, Block 1 of the Dutton Addition. In addition, within the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, according to the plat of record in volume 1456, page 77 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, and being all of the tracts of land commonly known as 3117, 3125, 3129, 3205, 3209, and 3215 Dutton Avenue, 3301 Memorial, 910, 904, 906, and 900 South Valley Mills Drive, 3000 Williams Landing, and 3316, 3312, 3308, 3306, 3300, and 3220 Willowbrook Drive. All conveyed to the City of Waco, Texas, municipality, and clerk's file number 2017-01-0501 of the official public records in McLennan County. And two, a 2.93 acres situated in the T.J. Chambers Survey Abstract 7, Waco, McLennan County, Texas, being a portion of Lot 1, Block 1 of the Baylor Stadium Addition. In addition, within the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, according to the plat of record in volume 1695, page 133 of the official public records in McLennan County, Texas, and being all the tracts of land commonly known as 3021, 3017, 3015, 3009, 3001, 2925, and 2921 Dutton Avenue, all conveyed to the City of Waco, Texas, and municipality and clerk's file number 2017-01-0501 of the official public records in McLennan County, Texas, located along South Valley Mills Drive to Old Baylor Stadium, between Dutton Avenue and Willowbrook Drive, and along Dutton Avenue between the former Floyd Casey Drive and South 29th Street, providing that the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so the property described above shall be changed from R1B, O1, and O2 to C2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing severability clause, and finally determining that which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 11-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the land use change based on the following findings. One, the public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses. Our zoning districts allowed in the proposed mixed-use land use designation. 2, there is mixed-use flex land use in the vicinity of the subject property. And 3, the property is located near the intersection of 2 major streets, which are South Valley Mills Drive and Dutton Avenue. They also recommend approval of the zoning change based on the following findings. 1, the proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan as revised. 2, the public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses allowed in the C2 zoning district. 3, the property meets all the area and width requirements for C2 zoning. And that is it. I thought there was another one.
Well done.
Let's keep going.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading?
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Palmer? Waterroot?
Yes.
Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to public hearing 2022-801.
Members of the council, this is a public hearing on an ordinance of the city of Waco, Texas, amending the concept plan of the plan unit development known as the Black Bear Village PUD, located at 115 Garden Drive, described as Lot 17, a private road, Block 2, Black Bear Village Edition, PUD, in 2601, 2605, 2609, 2613, 2617, 2621, 2625, 2629, 2801, 2805, 2809, 2813, 2817, 2821, 2825, and 2829 Graduate Row, described as lots 1 through 16, Block 2, the Black Bear Village Edition. To 1, add approximately 0.647 acres, more or less, to the PUD, described as Lot 1, Block 1, of the Carol Lee Evans Edition, known as 230 Garden Drive. And 2, to rezone the approximate 0.647 acres of property from R1B to PUD, and 3, otherwise revise the concept plan of the PUD to allow 7 duplexes within the added portion of the property. Providing for penalties, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining the meeting which this ordinance has passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 11-0, Plan Commission recommended approval to amend the PUD plan based on the following findings and subject to the following conditions. Findings are the proposed PUD is consistent with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. The purposes of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, Texas, and the Plan Unit Development Regulations. 2, the proposed PUD is keeping with the purpose and intent of the PUD ordinance by providing a high level of amenities and design standards while allowing flexibility in the use of the development of the land. We do have 3 conditions. 1, the final PUD plan must meet all development standards consistent with the concept PUD plan and the site requirements of Plan Review Committee, including but not limited to the following: site grading and drainage, signage regulations, parking, site coverage, access and circulation, gating, landscaping, refuse location and access, fire protection location and access, and the college and the university neighborhoods district overlay. 2, the property shall be platted in accordance with the subdivision ordinance prior to the issuance of building permits. And 3, in all season landscape screen 4 feet in width, densely planted with evergreen trees and shrubs with initial height of 3 feet and will attain a height of 6 feet within 6 months. 36 months after installation shall be planted along the boundary shared with the adjacent single-family lot. Plan Commission also recommended approval of the rezoning from R1B to PUD based on the following findings. 1, the proposed PUD is consistent with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. The purposes of Chapter 28 zoning Code of Ordinances, City of Waco, Texas, and the Plan Unit Development Regulations. And 2, the proposed PUD is keeping with the purpose and intent of the PUD ordinance by providing a high level of urban amenities design standards while allowing flexibility in the use and development of the land.
Are there any questions for staff?
I just wanted to get on the map there, Clint, the 7 are on the bottom or on the top? I'm trying to remember. We're just expanding the PUD to add 7 more units, right?
Correct. So the current PUD spans all the way from Gurley to Garden, and then the part they're adding is on the Garden end.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. And the ones that are there so far are great. I've heard good things about them.
And the density that they're adding is comparable to the density that's already in the development.
Thanks.
Any other questions for staff? Now, I will open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item?
Good evening, council members and city staff. My name is Mark Arias. My address is 115 Garden Drive, Waco, Texas, 76706. I would just like to make you guys aware I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions?
Nope, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
You, Mark. Anyone else here to speak on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
A move for approval on first reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez. Palmer.
Aye.
Bordereau.
Yes.
Holmes. Meek.
Yes. Motion carries, and the next item is public hearing 2022-802.
Mayor and members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the city of Waco, Texas, providing that the code of ordinances be amended by revising section 28-247 in chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that certain property described as lot 26, block 55 of the Ross subdivision known as 918 South 10th Street shall be changed from O2 district classification and be designated into C2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a severability clause, and finally determine the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 11-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of rezoning based on the following findings. One, the proposed zoning is in conformance with the land use component of the comprehensive plan and the Imagine Waco plan for greater downtown. Two, the public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses allowed in C2 zoning. Three, the property meets all the size and width requirements for C2. And four, C2 zoning is dominant zoning between Cleveland Avenue and Interstate 35.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open up a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
I wanted to ask Clint something. There on South 10th Street, I was trying to look to see, are there any residential homes occupied in this area?
Not here, I can show you. On my map where it is, Councilman.
I couldn't.
Here.
Ma'am, this is actually the last home that was there. It's in between, it's adjacent to the lot that the applicant owns and the West Bay Shopping Center.
Oh, okay, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Okay, I was thinking about the homes that used to be there on South 10th Street. That's why I had a question in my mind if they were still there, but apparently not. So thank you anyway.
Any other questions for staff? Yes, ma'am. If not, then I will ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Bordereau.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. And the next item of business is, we're going to go a bit out of order here. And we have our new municipal judge here with us tonight. And we are going to have a swearing-in ceremony for our municipal judge. And I believe that is going to be done by our city secretary, Michelle Hicks.
Do we go down there with him, or do we stay up here? Or?
I think what we'll do is we'll have Michelle come onto the center of the stage and swear him in. And then what I'd like to do is get us all to take a group photo with him after the swearing in with council and direct appointments.
Okay, please raise your right hand. I
I,
do solemnly swear
Robert Garcia, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of the Waco Municipal Court Judge
of the Waco Municipal Court Judge
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
And Judge Garcia, if you'll wait right there, we're all going to join you for a photo on the stage right there. Congrats. I'll stay next to you in the middle here. Pro Tem, Judge, and me. All right. Good. separation. Good stack.
Squeeze it a little tighter.
Safety first.
Give me some smiles. All right.
Hold on, one more. Oh, freeze. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very excited. All right. Next we have our consent agenda, and the following resolutions have been pulled from the consent agenda, and will be voted on separately. Resolutions 2022-805, 806, 807, and 808. Is there a motion on resolution 2022-805?
I'll move for approval.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Aye.
Palmer?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to 2022-806.
805?
Oh, sorry, was that not 805?
Oh, nope, you're right. That was.
That was it.
Is there a motion?
I'll move. Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield? Rodriguez? Palmer? Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to resolution 2022-807. Is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Just making sure Bordereau didn't make that motion.
I'm sitting out 805 through 808, just
That's correct, okay. Bearfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez? Palmer? Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries, and the next item is resolution 2022-808. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Oh, second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Palmer? Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries. Next is the consent agenda, which will include resolutions 2022-803 through 817, with the exceptions of 805, 806, 807, and 808. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Move for approval on this consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Aye.
Palmer? Bordereau?
Yes.
Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is ordinance 2022-818.
The City of Waco, Texas, amending Section 1883 and Chapter 18 Personnel, the Code of Ordinances, providing the number of police officers, police sergeants, police commanders, and assistant police chiefs authorized by the City Council, providing a savings clause, providing for inclusion in the code, and finding and determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 5-0 council vote on first reading on October 4th, 2022.
Is there a motion?
Second reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Aye.
Palmer? Bordereau?
yes.
Holmes?
Aye.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries. And the next item on the agenda is the hearing of visitors. During the hearing of visitors section of the agenda, we provide an opportunity for the public to present concerns or address issues that are not matters for consideration listed on an agenda. Council is unable to conduct discussion, but will listen, ask staff to look into concerns, and contact you if necessary. If you have any handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation, and staff will distribute those to council. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. I have one card, and that is from Miss Mary Brinkerhoff. Good evening.
I do have handouts that I gave to someone. I am here to speak on the topic of traffic calming on North 18th Street between Bosque and Waco. I live at 910 North 18th Street, which is on the corner of Bosque and Colonial. In the last 2 months, 4 accidents have occurred due to fast driving on North 18th Street between Bosque and Morrow. I have marked the 4 accidents with numbers. The first one ended up directly in front of a house. The second hit the wall of the church. The third hit the light pole next to the church, and the fourth hit the light pole on the corner of Gorman and Bosque. Thankfully, these were all one-car accidents and no pedestrians were involved, but there is no guarantee that the next time this happens, it will not involve another car or pedestrians. I am particularly concerned because my children play behind the fence that borders North 18th Street, and if a car lost control there, it could easily go through that wooden fence. It did, the first accident took out metal fences. I can also attest to the fact that cars on North 18th Street routinely accelerate quickly out of the red light on the corner of Bosque and 18th due to the fact that it's a wide 3-lane street and there are no stop signs until Waco. So I'm here to urge the council to act to slow the traffic on North 18th Street. I'm no expert. Some ideas might be to add a stop sign at the corner of Morrow and 18th Street, speed bumps, or to narrow the lanes there. I appreciate your consideration of this topic. Thank you.
We'll take it seriously. Thank you so much for coming down. Is there anyone else here to speak tonight? If not, we'll close the hearing of visitors. Are there any council member reports on committees, boards, or commission liaison visits?
I have a fun event that I was invited to this weekend. You know, we always get invited to some kind of serious things to go to, and, you know, but this weekend I was asked to be a judge at the Heart of Texas Fair for the cutest little cowboy and the cutest little cowgirl. The ages ranged from 3 years old to 8. There were 30 contestants. And if you don't think that was hard, it was hard, because they were all so cute. They were all so cute, and they were dressed up, their parents dressed them up so cute. One daddy dressed himself like his son, or his son like him, so they both came out on the stage. But they were just so cute, and I had so much fun. And I want to thank the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo and the Esperanza Committee for asking me to be a judge. I wasn't the only judge, there were 3 of us, but it was hard nonetheless. They were just so cute. I still can't get over how cute they all were. And some of the kids that, you know, went up there, one little girl went up there and said, "Hi, I want to be your next queen." How cute is that? 3 years old. She's saying she wants to be the queen. She was. We graded them on personalities, appearance, and public speaking, and, you know, just how well they carried themselves. You know, a lot of kids had to be taken by their hand and walked around by their parent because they were shy, but not this one little girl. And then the little boy that won, he was just so cute. He had everything on, from chaps to hat to cowboy boots and belts and guns and everything else. He just was, and he was 3. He was just so cute. But he was not shy, and he answered all the questions that were asked to him. He answered them real loud, you know, and it was just, I had a fun time, guys. I had a fun time. I just wanted y'all to know I had a fun time this weekend being a judge and representing the city council. That's awesome. Because I was recognized as a Waco City Council member. So I just want y'all to know I had a great time.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Alice.
It's important to balance this work in with the fun stuff, so that's great.
It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of other really fun, cute stuff, early voting starts on Monday. So just wanted to do a plug. We're a nonpartisan body. These are partisan elections, but what happens at the state level affects what happens at the local level. So there are 5 places you can vote in McLennan County starting Monday morning at 8 a.m. The polls close at 5 p.m. You can go on the county website and find everything you need, but definitely encourage y'all to bring a friend and go vote.
Awesome. That's right. All right. Any other reports? Are there any requests for future agenda items? If not, then yes, ma'am.
Not an agenda item, but when we were being entertained in between, you know, kids changing, the Baylor Mariachi Band played for us. They were just absolutely awesome. This is their second year. And I invited them to the city council meeting to play for us.
Yes.
Even though the Hispanic heritage is over, but I told them not this Tuesday, but maybe in 2 weeks. So, Michelle, I have the contact name of the young man. They were just so awesome, and they got so excited when I told them would they like to come and play for the city council.
I mean,
They-
we talked about a house band, so.
Well, there you go. But they're from Baylor.
We don't want to be outdone by Waco ISD because they had mariachi in their chambers just a few weeks ago. So I think we need to step our game up as well. And it could be a homecoming thing or something.
So, Mayor, let me add, that's a good idea, so let's figure it out.
Can we do that, Michelle, for next council meeting at the 6 o'clock? Because of course, obviously, 3 o'clock, some of them have classes. But at 6 o'clock, they said they would all be free.
I did want to mention, the city of Waco was selected, National League of Cities has a organization, Race, Equity, and Leadership, and we were selected to participate in the inaugural Institute for Race, Equity, and Leadership, and so thank you for the work. We got a recommendation letter from our mayor, our deputy city manager. I think you've got some staff that are going to be attending, but this is a pre-event before the National League of Cities Conference in Kansas. But Waco was one of 10 cities.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you for that update. All right, there being no further business, this meeting will be adjourned at 7:04 PM. Thanks, everybody.